Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This current plan is not working. We currently have 6 weeks until race day, and with some of our most recent setbacks, I kind of feel like we got sent back all the way to day 1. And I'm talking of the 5K training plan, not the half marathon. Now, for this revised plan, there's one thing I needed to feel like I can confidently finish this race, and that is at least one 10-mile run under my belt. Because personally, I feel like if I can do that, then I definitely think I could probably add 3 more on and be fine. Now, here's the big thing. I know I can probably complete this distance for sure. The issue is the time restraint on it. You have to be able to do this race with a 15-minute mile, and I know I can do under a 15-minute mile, and I have been doing that for a really long time now. The issue is with the recent flare-up of this acid reflux, it has been making it very hard for me to even stay under a 15-minute mile. Now, I also emailed the people at the Rocky Run because I had other questions that didn't necessarily have to do with like pace, but I figured I'm gonna ask them about the pace thing in general, about like whole lining up and what happens. And they actually informed me that for the 5K you need to hold a 13-minute pace, and the 10-mile is where you can hold the 15-minute pace. Now, I will say on the website I only saw it saying 15-minute mile, 15-minute mile, and I was like, okay, great. So I don't know where this 13 came from, but it definitely made me a little bit nervous. And then I sent them a follow-up email and they were kind of like, well, as long as you're at your corral by 8 o'clock, you'll probably fine, you'll be able to go. And I will say, when we were looking at results from last year, I did notice that some people did it in even slower than a 15-minute mile, and they were able to go on and do the whole 10-mile portion. So I'm not that worried, but I am a little worried because, like with our luck, this would be the year that they really enforce that time restraint, but hopefully not. So because of this, my mom is actually the one who came up with the idea for how we should be doing our easy runs. Originally, our plan was like every other week we were going to be adding 5 minutes on to our time. I think we started with like 30 minutes and then we just kept going up from there with the goal to be at like an hour by like our peak week. But she suggested, instead of doing that, why don't we just go out and we just keep doing 5Ks and trying to get them under that 45-minute time so that we really have it like mastered down for the race day. Now, our goal for this is to do it under 45 minutes, like no more than 45 minutes, because we want to, besides just making sure we have time to line up and all that, hopefully potentially use the restroom like one time before we go, especially since I know I'll probably be drinking my carb mix, which, more fluids put into me. Also, primarily, since this is a long race, typically in a normal half marathon, you're not like super worried about that. You can kind of pace yourself, start a little bit slower on the first 3 miles and then pick up the pace as you go. With this, since it's like a 2-part race, we don't have that, so we don't want to like over exhaust ourselves with this first 3 miles that we're like struggling so much in the 10-mile, especially since there is the giant mountain that they have in it. As far as the interval portion of our training plan goes, I've already kind of talked about this change, that we were planning on taking anything that we had written for our old intervals and just turning them basically into being like, okay, you're gonna walk on an incline for that time instead. But we actually scrapped that plan. We are still doing hill intervals, but we changed up how we're going to do them because we also really started thinking about the Mount Drago and got a little bit more scared of it. So we figured, yeah, no, we need to do something a little bit different. Primarily for me, the reason I kind of wanted to change this is because now that I've done hills like outside and hills on a incline on a treadmill, it feels very different. Don't get me wrong, it is still challenging, but being outside, it is definitely harder on that hill than it is being on an inclined treadmill. Also, with Mount Drago, it's not just simply, oh, okay, we're going up a hill and then like it just flattens out and that's the rest of the course. No, you have to go up the mountain. You also have to come down the mountain, which is obviously not as hard as going up, but it's your step and you have to figure out a different way to run down than you normally would on flat ground. So for us, we feel like that is something we should also be practicing. And obviously on the treadmill that we have access to, it only does incline, so we cannot simulate going down a hill. So for right now, our plan is to go to a hill and go up it and come down it and do that for 8 times, simply because our goal is to go up it for like 0.80, come down it for 0.80, because that is about the same distance of Mount Drago. Obviously, in a perfect world, I would find a hill that is 0.80 and be able to go up that all the way and then come back down, but I literally searched every street that I could on the map MyFitness to try to find a hill that was close enough to it, or at least the same distance of it, and just simply couldn't. So for now, we're just gonna have those little repeats. Now, for the most difficult one for us, the long run. Sadly, this one doesn't have like a clean-cut answer like all the other ones have. This one's still a bit of a challenge for us. In our original training plan for the long runs, we were going to start and do every run twice. And then the following week, we were going to go up by a mile and just keep doing that until I think we were aiming at 10 we were going to do twice, and then we were going to do an 11 and a 12. Right now, because of the time constraint, I obviously don't think that's going to happen. So what we're going to do instead is have like a minimum goal and then like our actual goal. So for example, if it's run 8 miles, the lowest we can run is 6 miles. Now, the main reason for kind of doing this is because this is typically where my stomach acts up, and my stomach is still so unpredictable. And I've actually spoken to my doctor again, trying to find like the best way to try to like calm this down, because I've been trying to cut out a little bit more of like spicy food because I feel like maybe that's my issue. I haven't had peanut butter and it feels like forever. I've tried to cut that out. Based on my doctor and her recommendation, she said, take another 4 weeks of that Pepsid, girl. And I'm thinking, oh my God. So basically we're taking Pepsid up until race day, and I planned on actually anyway, without consulting my doctor, I was going to take Pepsid the week of the race to just do it. So we're probably looking at basically for the next 6 weeks, I'm probably going to just keep taking this Pepsid, as it feels like it might be my only hope. Also, one change I made is she said, oh, take it at night because then you'll wake up and you're going to feel all of it working and you're just going to feel great. I never felt like that. I never woke up and was like, yeah, I feel better. I would feel worse. And I think what was happening is I would get up, and obviously then I would eat some kind of carb before I would go, and I'd put something in and I upset the acid. So even though it technically had it in there, it wasn't like working, I feel like, as efficiently. So I plan on trying next week to take them in the morning, like before my run, because it does say take it 10 to 60 minutes before you're gonna eat something. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna not take my doctor's advice on that one, and I'm going to try it in the morning to see if it is better on my stomach and if I can actually like complete a run and not feel so crappy. Maybe it will help because I'm taking it closer to food. Now, sadly, I actually don't have any proof of this new long run idea working for 2 reasons, and none of them actually has to do with my stomach. Basically, I've been trying to be a little bit more focused on, you know, injury prevention. So I was watching one of my videos and he said, you're gonna lean on the wall and you're gonna like lean forward a little bit, and we're gonna just do some raises, you know, help those potential shin splints. And you know, I leaned on the wall, and I was leaning on the wall already, and just bam, back and fell into the wall again. Yes, I know, again, it sounds crazy. Matter of fact, I actually did it twice. Back to back, I did it. So not once, but twice. Obviously, after that, the head wasn't feeling too great. So I was already a little bit worried about having to get up and run and do the long run in the morning. But I said, you know what? We'll see how I wake up. That's tomorrow's problem. Let's see. How did I wake up? Not well. The head actually was totally fine. I felt fine. I didn't actually really feel much. I did feel like a little something in the very early morning, but it went away. I had, of course, a new issue because, you know, it's just kind of my brand at this point to have some kind of issue. I am hoping to do a rebrand very soon, but not yet. I ended up waking up with a lovely pain in my chest, which, you know, that's not fun. Basically, anytime I took a breath in that was just a slightly bit too deep, pain. So I kind of figured, well, that doesn't seem like something I should be going out and running 8 miles with. So, you know, how about this? We'll take the rest of the day off and I'll go out on Sunday and see how I feel. Guess what? I woke up on Sunday and I only felt slightly bit better. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the right chest pain is. I do still slightly have it. I have 2 guesses. Either one, when I fell in the wall, I hit something and like jerked forward and pulled something in my chest. I don't know. Option 2, I have a new gas pocket in my chest. I don't really know. I will say this one I have not consulted my doctor on, so I'm just kind of alleging here because I don't know. She was saying stuff. If I keep telling her about this acid, they're going to put a tube down my throat. I don't want a tube down my throat, so I'm just going to keep taking the Pepsid and see what happens. With that being said, obviously the long run has been canceled. Now, before I send you off, since it kind of is ending potentially on a negative note, I'm going to do something positive. For one, if you haven't noticed, my hair I cut it off. I couldn't deal with it. I called my hairdresser. I said, I'm choking in my sleep. I'm choking in my sleep. She said, come in. So I got this done primarily because it's on my prep for Rocky Run to-do list that actually doesn't have anything to do with running, but it's still prep for the run. So that is one thing checked off of my list. I do know it is like 6 weeks away, and with my hair, it could be very long again. So we'll see what happens. The second thing is they actually announced what the t-shirts will be for the Rocky Run, as well as the bibs. So I figured we can show them to you now. Exciting news, everyone. They have sent more stuff for the Rocky Run. This is the t-shirt and the bib. Are we ready? This is big. Okay, we also paid $5 extra to get the moisture wicking shirt, so they better be nice. Oh, I'm iffy on it. Let me see.
Well, the only good thing is it's just...
It actually has this like whole picture on it.
Yeah.
And then in the front, it just says like a little text. I mean, you can see it. It's on the screen.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad.
Little text and then the big.
I'm glad that the front is kind of neutral and not...
Yeah, without a big picture. Like at least
Yeah.
it's front and back. So I feel like it got money's worth. And there's our bib.
Yeah.
Ours will be that color because of the Italian Stallion. We did do some research, everybody. After she panicked and freaked out a few days ago, we started watching to see if anybody else filmed this. Not many people have filmed this, especially not many people have tried to do the challenge. Like they were all doing the 5K. Apparently the 5K bibs, they were like 5K, 10 mile. And then like the Stallion challenge was like the bib that we're gonna get, like the yellow and black. So we'll see. I feel like that's a slightly bit more of a positive note to end on here. I hope these changes to the plan work. Next week will be like our first week where we're like really trying it out. So you will just have to come back and see how it goes. Maybe next week will be the start of the rebrand. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm feeling like we're probably gonna have to wait till 2026. So you're just gonna have to stick with me here. Either way, no matter how these next 6 weeks go, we will be at the starting line for the Rocky Run. I don't care. I will be there, and I will be also at the finish line twice. So there's that. But till next week, I do hope you guys enjoyed my little explanation of what we're gonna have to be doing for the next 6 weeks, because we're almost starting over and it feels like we only have 6 weeks now to train for a half marathon, but we really don't. And it's getting cold, so hopefully everything will also be easier, and hopefully my acid reflux will go away. If you see an 11/11, make a wish that my acid reflux goes away for me. Thank you, and that's it. I will see you next week. Roll the outro.